Wife tried to get rid of me to be with a fair partner. Had a fire break out in my house right outside my bedroom. I was the only one asleep in the house while kids were at school and wife just left for work. The fire investigator came and said the cause of fire was unknown. Seemed to have just started in the middle of the hallway. Didn't think much of it. Fast forward a week, we are in a hotel while insurance is rebuilding the house. The wife is stressed about the house situation, then suddenly blurts out a tornado of hurtful claims. Says, I never loved you, I never wanted to marry you, I don't find you attractive anymore, I was never happy with you. I don't like the person I become with you. I am absolutely flabbergasted by these statements. I know I'm not perfect, but I thought we had a fairly happy marriage. I spend the next month working on myself, trying to be better for her, communicating with her what she needs to be happy. Meanwhile, have been highly suspicious of her for the last 6 months. She lost a ton of weight, started dressing sexier, was very protective of her phone, paying close attention to shaving her bikini area. I'm an idiot looking back. Should have figured it out sooner, just never thought she would do something like this with 2 little kids. Finally, my suspicions get the best of me. I check her phone one night while she is asleep and see the dreaded texts. Confront her in the morning and she admits to an affair going on now 9 months with someone from work. They were hooking up in his car on lunch break and calling in sick to work together and meeting up at hotels. The guy is a huge downgrade from me, uneducated, makes crap money, ugly, lives with his parents and plays video games all day. But I think this is what she wanted cause she knew he would do anything for her and never leave her. Come to realize that the fire that mysteriously started was her trying to take me out of the picture so she can appear like the victim to her family and friends and move on with her soulmate. Police currently investigating the situation, but I am doubtful they will find hard evidence to convict. She is not even remorseful, claims he is her soulmate, that she can tell him anything, that they have a deep, deep emotional connection. They talk on the phone for hours every day while I'm at work. Says she doesn't want to stop seeing him or quit her job. I told her I want a divorce and she was in agreement. I can't believe she would chase after this loser when we had the picture-perfect life with 2 beautiful kids. She's in such a strong affair fog you cannot believe. She will do anything to be with this guy. It's like she's obsessed with pills. I left the house completely about 2 weeks back, and during this time she has been living it up with her boyfriend. Talking all night, going on dates, continuing to hook up in the car on lunch break. Thought she would need some time to grieve, but no, she seems happier than ever. She is trying to rewrite our history, typical of a cheater in affair fog. She is trying to rationalize her actions, claiming she was never happy with me, that I was controlling and not supportive of her family. She is gaslighting me to the extreme, trying to make me feel like this is my fault. If you have issues in our relationship, that is on you to communicate them. Having an affair doesn't fix them. She is telling her friends and family that it's my fault the relationship is ending while being very quiet about the fact she had an affair. Divorce is in the works. But I need advice and support, guys. I am planning a smear campaign once divorce finalized so that friends and family can hopefully knock some sense into her and make her feel some guilt and realize what a big mistake she made. Is this a wise move, or will it just make co-parenting even harder? I keep obsessing over their relationship. What do you guys think? Will they end up together in the long run? Will they be happy? Will she ever get out of this fog and realize the mistake she made? Will she come back to me? I wouldn't want her back, but it sure would help my sanity. How do I stop thinking about their relationship? I just want to move on. Any advice on next steps, guys? Story 2. Wife of 33 years cheated with a coworker while building business with me. Let me start with some background. My wife and I are both 54 M/F, married 31 years. She's an RN at a hospital. I have worked for a home builder since I was 18. We have 2 children, both grown out of the house in their 20s. We decided in our mid-40s to pursue my wife's dream of running a bed and breakfast. We have been looking on and off for years. We came across a piece of property of 5 acres and a home built in the 1870s. The original owners were large landowners in this area. They had an extensive agricultural business empire. Over the decades, fewer of the family wanted to stay in farming. Parcels of land were sold off. Our town is going through growing spurts as it has become quite touristy because of some, let's say, natural formations and beauty. The farmland along the main highways is being gobbled up. The house and land we purchased is away from the highways. Since we bought it, my wife and I are redoing the entire house. There has been neglect in some basic maintenance, and we want to restore the house to its prominence 150 years ago, along with making a living. My wife has been in charge of decorating rooms as I finish along with paying the mortgage. I am renovating room by room, paying for all material and any professional help if needed. I am pretty handy, so most work is done by me. The last few years, the housing industry has gone through the roof. We would work 8 days a week if we could. I was pulling in big money until last year. The pandemic knocked us out of work for a while in 2020, then the material shortages started. Of course, my wife was on the front lines for the last 18 months. Last year, she worked weeks at the hospital without days off. The medical staff stayed at the hospital. They had rooms several slept in together. To say the least, the staff got very close. They worked 4 weeks on 2 weeks off, starting in March last year into the fall, then again after Thanksgiving. My wife has always, after the kids were older, worked for others if they asked. She watched these young parents crying because they could not see their families. So on her off times, she would give up her time off and offer it to the staff that really needed it. There were others that did this too. A whole COVID experience changed her, watching people put on ventilators, the deaths, etc. She was not the same person. She was distant. Our ex life went to zero. I attributed it to either her experiences or her age. I tried talking about it, but was told she just didn't feel it anymore. We still work closely on the house. We planned trips to an area in our state that had a large Amish population. The Amish here are known for the craftsmanship in woodworking and sewing. We bought several pieces of furniture for the bedrooms along with handmade quilts. This past weekend, we were planning on taking a 3-day trip to this area to buy dining room furniture. I also pay and trade with some wood that I get when I take down an old barn, which I do as a side gig. Barnwood is very much in demand. My boss calls me and tells me everyone is working the whole week as he was able to get wood and shingles for a house we have been sitting on waiting for supplies. I told the wife we could go on Saturday and Sunday. On Friday morning, she tells me she is still going with some workers because there is a fall festival going on too. I went to a local bar that night. One of her coworkers comes up to say hello. I asked if she was going on the trip. She knew nothing about it. So I texted the wife asking if she made it okay and asked who was all there with her. She texted back that this friend, her other close friend, and a friend called Stevie. I hadn't heard this name the last few months. Until then, I always thought they were female. I asked her friend at the bar if she knew Stevie. She said no, but there is Steven that works with them. The wife gets back Sunday afternoon. She has bags of tablecloths, napkins, kitchen towels, etc. She is showing me what she bought. In one bag, there was a smaller bag. She pulled it out, looked in it, and said, "Oh, not this bag. It's not for us." I let it go. Later, I looked in the bag. She had hidden it in a closet. It was decorations for a man cave for a college team I don't follow in sports, so it wasn't for me. I asked to talk with her. I asked again who all went. She gave the same 3 people. I just asked who Stevie was because we had not met. She told me about a woman they work with. I pulled out the man cave stuff and told her I talked to her friend, who was supposed to be away last weekend, but her plans blew up. Then I asked who Stevie was again.